Okay, sí, dale.
No, no. The first question is what mistakes do people make when they get a credit card? So I believe that the mistakes that people do is that they think that the money is actually theirs, but it actually isn't. It's borrowed money from the bank, so they can spend a lot, but actually end up in debt, in over debt, because they use more than they have. So I would recommend to is to know the the aspects of a credit card uh, and its uses.
I think that the mistakes that they make when people get a credit card is that they don't know like the fees that the credit card has or how much interest rate they have to pay. So they make late payments, and then when you make the late payments, well then your debt starts to accumulate. And another mistake that people make sometimes is that they withdraw cash from a credit card instead from a debit card. And when that happens, like when you withdraw cash from your credit card, that's automatically like what you owe. And in your debit card, you don't owe anything because the money that you withdrawed was already yours. And in a credit card, well, the money isn't technically yours. You have to make the payment in the time that is suggested for the credit card. So yeah.
Well, to answer the next questions, what I learned from the case study was that it's always better to pay in full each month and pay on time, because then over time like your debt starts to add up, and it goes more and more and more until you can't pay off your debt and you owe a huge amount of money. So it's always better to pay in full and on time.
Yeah, I also think that it's better to pay in full because then you don't have interest rates or extra fees that the credit card company well is making you pay. So if you pay in full amount, in the time that you're supposed to, you won't have like any type of fees.
Yeah, I agree with you both. That is, which is what I learned in the case study. And going to the second question, that what I learned and what you said is both that the interests are really special to know, and people have to know them, as that can literally uh, like get you over debt because you think you're just paying for what you are buying, but you are actually, by having a credit card, you have to pay the interest that the bank allows you to. So that is what I learned in the case study.
And to answer the next question about how could I apply it to my financial plan, well, we could like apply it to our financial plan just by estimating like how much money we're going to spend and pay it fully by the end of the time, so that none of like the extra fees get applied to what we owe to the credit card company.
And for the next question, like important things to consider when applying for a credit card is things like your interest rate and like APR, and how is that going to affect like how your credit score is going to be affected with the type of APR. You also have to look if the credit card company gives you any rewards for having a good credit score, and like for the future as well. And also you need to see things like how much money you are going to need to pay of annual fees, or maybe like you make a late payment and you need to see how much money would you need to be paying if you make a late payment, which is very important.
Yeah, so I think Sebastian summed up that question. So going to the next one, what types of credit card do you see yourself using in the future, and how will you use your credits to your advantage? So in the future, maybe like the first credit cards that I start to have are credit cards that have low interest rates and low fees or no fees at all, because I think that like us being college students, we're not going to like target credit cards with high fees and high rewards. Maybe it's better to start with a low fee or no fee credit card to start building our credit score, our credit card score up, and like so we can be like able to make the payments at end of the month without having no debt.
Yeah, I agree with you, Daniel. I think that the type of credits that we should use in our young adult ages is credit cards and revolving credit cards. Is the revolving credit, because we have to have a certain amount that it is not too much for us to actually pay it and be is the pay at the right time, so our credit scores improve, so in the future when we need more amount of money, we can be assured of having a credit credit card with a high reward and a high interest rate.
So I think Daniel and Armando pretty much summed it up, and I agree with them on choosing the credit cards.
Perfect, thank you very much, have a great day.
Thank